Ladies and gentlemen, we stand up here in firm proposition to the idea that we should assassinate Muammar Gaddafi and we should support the rebels doing that. That's who we are. But I'm going to go into a little refutation and then crystallize this debate into two questions. Would killing Muammar Gaddafi be beneficial to the Libyan people? And do the rebels have any other option? But first, before I get into that, let's just go to the refutation. So Esther, in reverse, her last thing she brings up is how she wants to be, justice. She wants to administer justice here by capturing him. Now, for one, we want to ask who's going to capture him, because the rebels who are fighting for their lives and their liberty are being slaughtered city by city as they're being pushed back out into the places where they come from. And if we don't allow them, or we don't support them to assassinate the man that's slaughtering them, then they're going to be genocided, for one, but there will be no trial because he will win in the end. So we think that this is really ironic that they're against killing him, that they just want to wait for this mysterious trial in the end. I mean, it's like saying that we should have not tried to assassinate Hitler. We should just have waited till the end. Of course we should have assassinated Hitler because he was murdering millions of people. And then she knifed herself when she talked about France being bad on human rights, because their whole side over here is that they want to also have international intervention, and our side is such a terrible idea. So if France is so bad on international intervention, and they're the ones leading, as Craig pointed out, to intervening, then what else should we do? We're going to show you over here that we have to support the people assassinating, which is why it's the correct choice. And then she said the international community is going to have to step in no matter what, and like we said, we're going to show you how assassination is the only way. Violence begets violence. You know, this reminds me of Arun Gandhi, who spoke here at HPU this weekend back, and he said, if you're protesting for your rights, do not lift your hand up into the air, because that'll be violent against the oppressor. Now, we disagree on this side. We say that if you're rebels and you're protesting against the government, that you have to protect yourself and you have to assassinate the person that's trying to murder you. So let me get into my positive matter. And what this comes down to is, would killing Muammar Gaddafi be beneficial to the Egyptian people? I mean, to the Libyan people. And we'd like to point out Egypt, right? And now they didn't kill their leader, and that he actually, because of the people were so powerful and so respected and so strong, that they were allowed to have a peaceful transition. Now we think the difference here is Muammar Gaddafi is actually slaughtering his people in the masses, and therefore they must assassinate him to stop him. Oh, go ahead, Cody.
Yes, in the early 1980s, Chile assassinated their dictator, and that Augusto Pinochet came about, who was even a worse dictator than him. What says that that's not going to happen in Libya?
Nothing, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it when thousands of people are being slaughtered by Gaddafi, because in the end, they're just going to have more genocides against the people. So the country is perpetually being controlled by these rebels. The rebels are fighting back towards the capital, and they're losing ground this instant, which is why this is so especially important. As we pointed out on this side, it's been 2 months, and the international community is now meeting today with the G8 to talk about this. President Obama said he's against a no-fly zone because he doesn't want to risk the United States troops. So they're not doing anything. We have to support assassination. I think it was Jefferson that said the eternal price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Now these people are fighting for their liberty with guns, if they can get them, against trained professional troops, and they're being slaughtered. We think that we should not wait on the international community, which is what this team is doing, and they're not doing anything. My second point is, do rebels have any other option? We say no. These thousands of rebels are being killed city by city as they're trying to take over the government so that people aren't being murdered and they actually are free. The international community is too late and it's ineffective. It's too late because it's 2 months too late, and as I talked about today, the G8 is meeting and they're not doing anything. There was a stalemate today in their meeting. Why do you disagree?
Okay, once again, if you get close enough to Gaddafi that you could assassinate him, you're close enough that you could capture him, and then the violence stops. You
right.
don't have to kill him.
No, that's not true. You can have leaders go out there, pretend to be part of his military, or you can have infiltrate his military and shoot him with a gun. That's way different than getting hundreds of thousands of people to surround his compound and taking over his compound. That's way different. Nice try. And there's a big difference, because as they bring up with Saddam Hussein, we had a U.S. military that was the one that found him over the spider hole. That's trained professional troops, the best in the world. These are rebels that are being slaughtered in the streets because they're not trained and they don't have money, which is what Gaddafi has. So they cannot capture a heavily guarded leader. A heavily guarded leader that's using jet fighters to bomb the insurgents, to bomb the rebels in the areas around the capital. We think that, as I said, as I just was talking about, she thinks that somehow they're mysteriously going to be able to defeat these professional, well-trained, well-equipped, well-financed soldiers with jet fighters who are bombing the rebels. We don't think that this idea can happen, which is why you have to assassinate him, which is usually at the point of a gun, which is usually at someone infiltrating the system, which is usually someone poisoning someone, as has happened in human history. So we are on the side saying that the rebels are losing ground, and today we must support this, because the level between the two is that we know that the assassination of the people of Libya can stop if we stop this. The only side over here that has you is that this idea that it could get worse. But what's worse today, if we don't assassinate him, is he continues to slaughter his people by thousands and thousands because they dare to stand against his oppressive, murderous ways. And that's why we are proud to propose today.